Everybody, on today's episode, hopefully it'll be the last interior mod for a little while. I'm going to finally install the Redline Goods I've been sitting on for probably close to a year now. Alright, so we're going to remove some of the old leather and start installing some of the new leather. There are two things that I'm not going to show you today, and the first is wrapping the shift knob. If you went ahead and bought the leather to wrap a shift knob, I started to film it. It is really difficult, and I'm not entirely crazy with how it came out. You can see that there's some splitting here and on the other side, so I may at some point redo this, and I'll certainly film it then. The other thing I'm not going to show you is the e-brake handle, wrapping that as well. Similar kind of process to wrapping the shift knob. Probably most people aren't going to go with a custom shift knob and the e-brake handle. I imagine that's one of the rare options out there. So diving right in, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this e-brake boot, and we're going to start there and work our way forward. So let's go ahead and get this e-brake boot off. So we're just going to need an 11mm here. It does Velcro on the inside here. So we're going to go ahead and just remove this old boot off of this wire. Go. Leather gone, and I am gonna have to vacuum. All right, now that I have the old leather off, I'm gonna take this wire piece and I'm gonna thread it through here. Now it does split, so I'm gonna thread through like so. And the tricky part is I'm actually gonna need to get this entire side onto the solid side. So I am gonna have to go around. All right, so with that part in, I'm gonna take this side, and I'm actually going to do similar to as it was with the stock leather. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to fold it over like so, and then I have this stapler here. Alright, so with that done, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go grab the handle, and we're going to install the handle first, and this will slide over it. Make sure this is all tucked in. But I do want to clean through here to get a lot of this dust out. So let me do that, and then I'm going to start dropping on some bezels. All right, so with all of this back together, the last thing we're going to do is the boot. Now, I did purchase the metal one that fits in here. I'm not really crazy about the fitment, and it doesn't really seem to fit the leather very well, so I'm just going to forego it. Plus, my plastic seems to be in pretty good shape. But in case I do break my plastic, at least I have a backup. I'm just going to rip this right off of here.
A few moments later.
So in the process of working with the original plastic retainer for the boot, I ended up cracking it and it split right in half. Do break my plastic. Overnight I did super glue this, and I added a piece of duct tape. I'm going to add a few more just to help with a little bit of rigidity on the plastic retainer clip. And I know what you're thinking, and I'm going to tell you right now, why didn't I just go with the metal retaining clip that I purchased instead? This is in here. You can see it's not flush against with the plastic here, and it's going to pop. If you look where this rubber piece is, it ends up kinking, like basically almost poking through the rubber piece. And the sad thing is I've already trimmed this wire 3 times. I didn't want to take too much off, so you can see it's still kind of like lifting off of here where these where the two sides meet. I would say out of everything I bought from this company, I would not suggest this, but originally it was almost sitting like this. It was kinking almost that bad, honestly. So I am going to try and not use that, throw that out. And I'm going to go ahead with the original plastic retainer, which hopefully, even though it broke, will snap right in and still look good. All right, so I'm going to take the Alcantera. Now, I keep saying leather, but Alcantera is not actually leather. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slide it into clips like this. Basically the cutouts are gonna slide right into the clips. Obviously I'm missing a clip, oh well. All right, now there are a couple of ways you could go about sealing this in here. You could take a little bit of tack glue or fabric glue and go ahead and glue it down underneath. Obviously I tried the staple and that did not work out in my favor, but what I am going to do is I'm actually going to take a little bit of duct tape and I'm going to just seal it up around each of these with a little tiny piece of duct tape and kind of fold it over. So before we slide it on, the last thing we're going to do is you're going to take this top and you're going to want to fold it in on itself a little bit. The retainer doesn't break. All right, everybody, so I want to keep this initial impression short and sweet. I'm really happy with how it came out, and I thought the process was easy. It was probably a 3 on the difficulty scale out of 10. Out of the 4 pieces I installed, I think my favorite were the e-brake handle and the e-brake boot. I think those came out the cleanest. I think they look the best. The boot on the shifter would be the next best. I think now that I have a drop in there and it's a short throw, it just looks better. It's not bunched up. It's not all crinkled. The least favorite thing obviously was the shift knob. It is dirty, it's got stuff on it. I'm gonna try and clean it up the best I can, but I'm really not happy with how it came out. That's not a reflection on the company, that's a reflection on me installing it. I just don't think I did a very good job like gluing it and sewing it and all that stuff. I do wanna give it a second shot at some point in the future. I don't know when that'll be, but I'm gonna definitely make a video on it when I do, and hopefully it comes out better. The final thing I do want to say is I said I was going with a centerpiece that was all black. As you can see, I swapped it out for my original centerpiece. I actually bought a second knob to wrap. I wanted to keep my original shift knob that I bought with the car. I don't like the way that all black centerpiece looks, so I went back to the stock centerpiece, which I'm going to keep in there for now. I might end up doing something with that other black centerpiece, but I don't know, not anything today. So overall, I'm really happy. I like the way it looks. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I think it's got that subtle look that's not stock, but doesn't scream aftermarket. I think it looks standard to the car. I think overall it looks really good and I'm really happy with it. So let me know down in the comments what you think, what color you would go with, and I will see you on the next episode.